What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live for episode 43 of the FML podcast. That's right. We're still going. We haven't stopped. We haven't quit. I saw some people complaining in the chat because, Ryan took so long to set up the stream. It's like, what are we talking about? I just set up at like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's not good enough. I set up the stream as soon as I'm done my last stream. It's going up. I'm ready to rumble. You do it like 2 hours before.
You know why? Because what if something happens?
Because you're lazy.
What if something happens during the day that I want to make a topic, that I want to put in the title, that I might want to put in the thumbnail? So I wait to make sure the information's relevant.
Click the edit button. That's all that it takes. What do you mean?
We're only doing it once.
What a cope.
We're only doing it once. That's the rule. Vera, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. I mean, nothing to note. I haven't died. I'm still alive.
All disappointing
that's about it. I know, crazy.
All disappointing things. Yeah, it's gonna be like a weird week because I'm gonna be out of town for a couple days during the week. So we'll see how that works. I don't have to do daily for a couple days, so I mean that is nice. That will be
something good.
That is a silver lining on me being out of town for a few days. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm fucking tired. I just feel tired all the time. I don't know if it's because I'm old. I don't know if it's because I have cancer. I just feel tired all the time. So
it could be literally a billion things. So you're probably dying. GG. If you Google it, Google will tell you that you need to go to the emergency room right now because you're about to die. So
yeah, I mean, anytime you do anything, like anytime you feel anything weird and you Google, what does this mean? It'll be like, well, it's either nothing or you're dead. Those are your two options whenever you Google any kind of ailment that you have, which I guess it does cover all the bases, right? It's like, hey, it's probably just a nothing burger. It probably just means, you're fine. And maybe some indigestion. That's the cause of that pain in your chest, or you're about to die. Hey, your arm's tingling. You probably are just sitting on it wrong. Or maybe it's a pinched nerve, or maybe you're about to fucking have a heart attack and die.
Yeah, it goes from 0 to 100 very quickly.
It does 0 to 100 real quick. So it'll be all right, or I'll die and it'll be all right. So
yeah, either way, it's a win-win.
Pretty much for me and everyone in the world, to be honest with you. But I have some video game announcements. Vera, I bought Star Fox.
Whoa, video games. Hold on.
Well, I know you thought that I was going to say that I was going to plan and schedule my Reloaded stream.
Well, okay, wait a minute. You bought with the intention to play. Wildly different than actually playing.
That's true, but I mean, I spent $60 on it. Like, I'm going to play it.
Sure.
It's not like when you send me a $15 copy of Reloaded. Like, that's no big deal if I just push that off and push that off to the end of time. But I will play that too. Maybe I can get to it this weekend. Again, I'm going to be out of town for a couple days, but I'll be back during the weekend. Maybe I can get it done this weekend, but I will.
You have to play Reloaded by the 1 year of this fucking show, or else the 1 year, that's it. It's over.
Well,
we're 2 months away. You can play Reloaded, which is 10 hours in the span of 2 months.
Oh, well, you didn't say finish it, just play it.
Yeah, okay. Then, I don't know. Play it. We'll start there.
Let me look at the calendar. I promise that I will play Reloaded before July 8th. How about that?
Before July 8th. So in the next week?
Next week in 2 days, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And if you
My only incentive is Pokemon, honestly.
And if you don't, I'm going to start sending you videos of burning the cards one by one, like taking one of the cards, burning it.
That's what I mean.
Maybe like 12 hours later. So that's 2 hits a day. Burn the card.
I just needed proper motivation, but I'm going to be busy for a couple days, so it's not like I can just do it tomorrow because I already fucking made a commitment to come on this fucking gay ass retarded dog shit show called Tuesday Night's Main Event. So I have to be there for a little bit, and I'm rescheduling. Oh, public service announcement. All right, public service announcement. Rippin' Packs probably going to be tomorrow night because I'm going to be out of town on Thursday. So, and I'm not going to bring the cards with me and do a stream on the road. Okay.
Fair
Just
enough.
so you guys know, if one pops up tomorrow, that's why.
Well, that could be a really, really good tax write-off for the second channel is traveling while opening cards. So like I have to go to fucking Hawaii and rip this pack of cards. There you go. You get the travel, you get the product. I mean, a win is a win.
Let's see. Great big fat person. Because of you, Ryan, I'm going to eat myself to death. Good. Will says, why do all these movie nerd YouTubers end up with random and obscure women on their podcasts? Well, I would say that Vera she doesn't have as big of a channel as I do. She doesn't have as big of a channel as I do, but it's relatively big. So I wouldn't say that she's quite random and obscure. But thank you,
That's
Will
me,
Rube.
Buddy.
Thank you, Will Rube. Net Stealer for $2. Supergirl bombed so hard, Trump dropped it on Iran. Maybe. Ceasefire's going well. Hugo for $5. Just got back from Italy to Miami. Is it gay that the majority of pictures I took were male statues zoomed in on their genitalia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sus.
I think so. I think I have no other explanation other than you're gay, Hugo. Maybe you're just a big appreciator of the skill it takes, but I really don't think that's what it is. Based on every question you've asked over the last 2 years, yeah, that means you're gay. David Smart Jr. James Gunn's DCU is burning to the ground. I love it. It's so much worse than I thought it would be. And it's getting worse today.
It's so true because it's like a Superman movie not even coming close to $1 billion was already pretty shocking. But the fact that they put so much time and money into Supergirl and like they genuinely thought that was a good place to bring the DCU already is so mind-boggling and just goes to show how little these people actually care or understand what the criticisms being levied against them are, and they just don't give a fuck. And so when you see that Supergirl is what they're banking on, a movie that feels like a million other movies that have been rejected in the past, it's like, why would you ever want to do this? You're supposed to be rebooting this live action universe. This is supposed to be the DCU that is going to make you money and lead to success. And well, that definitely hasn't happened so far.
We thought it was going to open to $68 million. Like that's what we all thought yesterday. Well, actually it came in worse domestically and way worse internationally. It's only like 62 million worldwide. Like, holy fucking shit. Holy shit. David Smart Jr. to watch The Furious. It's a good action film. Fuck my life. I've heard it's good. The next thing on my list is Citizen Vigilante. I got to finally watch that. I'm going to try to watch it before I leave town. But we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, but it is on my list to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's friggin' #1 on Prime.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking crazy.
It is.
My perception of it is probably that it's not a great movie, but that people are going to find like the message pretty timely, which look, I wish that we lived in a space where people could just make the shit that they fucking wanted and we weren't just constantly forced an agenda. And I don't want to sit there and have like one specific agenda forced down your throat, but when you have everything coming out of the entertainment industry, basically the same message over and over and over again. And then you get one thing that's the antithesis of that. that is bringing like a different viewpoint, and it gets skewered and attacked and censored in a way by everybody everywhere. It's like maybe we need a little more balance when it comes to storytelling.
Yeah, it's refreshing to get something different in a time when all of the content being pumped out is basically the same reduced, reused, recycled message or storylines or characters or just content in general.
Yeah. But it is on my list. Netseal, I slipped in some goo today at the store, fell hard. Some goo? What?
I don't understand.
What do you mean? Is it because you're old and lost your balance, Net Stealer? Is that what happened? You slipped in some. Why would you phrase it that way? Slipped in some goo at the store.
No clue.
I would be more specific if I was going to say it, like, as opposed to just say some goo. Like, did some fucking dude come in the fucking aisle and you slipped on it? You know what I mean? Like, that's weird, man. Alex Aerocave, I hate Apple TV. Support FML. Meta PC, RK Outpost. You hate Apple TV. I've never used Apple TV.
Everything on Apple TV is fucking gay most of the time. Like 9 times out of 10, it's just super gay. So, yeah, it's kind of a problem.
Yeah, just like there's a couple things on there that have been recommended. I have watched Severance.
Yeah.
I have watched that. Now, I didn't watch it on Apple TV Plus, but I have watched it. First season, I was like, okay, interesting. Second season, I'm like, okay, like let's fucking come on with this shit. But yeah, I don't know. Not enough to make me sign up for the thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there are some good shows like Silo, Severance, like you mentioned. But I feel like most content on Apple is just not that enjoyable. But yeah. Is what it is.
Yappin' Tom for Canadian 279. Hey Ryan, you making it to TFC or TF Con Toronto? Transformers Con Toronto? Hey Vera.
I'd go to fucking Transformers Con, not in Toronto though.
Yeah, I just I'm not a big Transformers guy. You know,
what are you a big guy on except for fucking Pokemon and in sports?
Star Wars? What are you talking about, bitch?
Yeah, but you hate all modern fucking Star Wars.
Okay. I guarantee you there's a bunch of these fucking autistic Transformers collectors that are going to be there that hate all the new Transformers. They hate every Michael Bay movie that's ever come out. I guarantee you the majority of people that are going to be there despise the Michael Bay movies.
I don't completely disagree, but you know.
I like Harry Potter. I like A Song of Ice and Fire. So shut the fuck up. Transformers was never like a thing I really got into. I had some toys back in the day. I don't really remember the cartoon being on really at all.
I like Transformers.
The Michael Bay movies are all right. I was like, oh, these are cool. All right. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it up, especially because I'm going to be honest, between LA, Japan, a shit ton of stuff I've had going on lately, taking a trip this week. I don't know if I want to go to Toronto.
Yeah, not for me.
Toronto's way closer to you.
But I don't go anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
So let me follow up with that.
Hollywood Guy for 5. Vera, hello. What's going on? With all the Morbius talks, I might want to watch the movie again. Oh. Morbius is in the news.
I love the fact that Morbius is such an ass movie, but it's so good for the meme and joke potential that I can't help but like it more now, all of these years later, than I did initially, because initially it was just a really bad movie, but now, well, hey,
it's one of those
it's
movies
making more money, and it made more money than movies coming out now that were supposed to be bigger. So
it's one of those movies that I have absolutely no attachment to that character at all whatsoever. So even when it came out the first time I saw it, it was just so stupid. It's kind of like Madam Web in a way. It's so fucking bad. You just kind of laugh at it. I don't know if it's enjoyable. It is funny to watch Jared Leto fucking walk around like a cripple. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, watching regular people pretend to be crippled is funny. No offense, Alex McCarthy. I think it's funny. Phil Mitchell's Fist. Ryan, thanks for calling out Jeremy on FNT. Please have Vera this week instead. Love you both. There's a, I mean, I don't know. What did
you call him out for? Well, every week you call him out for something. So what is it this week?
What did I call him out for? Oh, I think it was about the Odyssey again. And it was, he said something to the effect of like, oh, everyone's just bad at it because Elon told him to be mad about it. And I was like, hold the fuck on. Like, people were mad about, like, Elon's the one that jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah, he only chimed in like a couple of months ago now.
The reason Elon heard about it was because it was fucking viral backlash. And then Elon also said something. Like, there was a massive backlash before Elon ever spoke about it. And so I think maybe that's what it was. I don't even fucking remember. Sometimes FNTs, like, they fucking run together. Either inflation or something. I don't know what it was, but thank you. And Vera, maybe Vera will be on this week. You never know.
Yeah, never say never.
Hollywood guy. How about this, Ryan? Why not make a Supergirl movie with Sasha Calais from The Flash? I'd rather watch her. So I've seen that floating around. People are just saying that because this movie sucks and because Millie Alcock said some really dumb shit. Sasha Calais, she wasn't a good Supergirl either. She was nobody. Her character was fucking nothing in that movie. And in fact, in that movie, it was actually very frustrating to watch Supergirl because it was just a gender-swapped Flashpoint Superman story. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that movie is just a bastardization of Flashpoint. Right. In which Michael Keaton takes the place of Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint universe, where Sasha Calais' Supergirl takes the place of what should be Superman in that universe. Which I think that The Flash is... I don't think The Flash is the worst movie that's ever been made from DC in this era, but it leaves a lot to be desired. Is it cool seeing Mike Keaton again? Yeah, sure. But one of the biggest problems with it, one, there's two fucking Ezra Millers, and there's also, like, I can't get over the fact that Flashpoint is like one of my favorite comic book storylines. I think it's really fucking cool. And to waste it that way is like pretty infuriating.
It's sad, yeah. Like, you wait for so long to finally get an adaptation of something, and then when it finally gets done, it's like the worst job that could possibly be done. And sure, I agree. I think that The Flash had some interesting moments, but I also don't think that, she was necessarily better because she wasn't, a major character. It's not like she had, 75% of the screen time like Millie Alcock does in Supergirl. I think her suit looked cool, but that was about the nicest thing that I could say, I think.
Yeah, just like the idea that, we need her back. She was like a nothing character.
Yeah, just passing by. They needed to add to the cast list, so she was thrown in there.
Yeah, and look, if you think she's more attractive than Millie Alcock, then I guess you'd rather see her on screen for 2 hours than Millie Alcock. I think that I don't think we'd have so much commentary from people about the way Millie Alcock looks if this movie had a completely different tone. If it had the tone that we actually normally associate with Supergirl, which is smiles and a little more bubbly and stuff like that. I really don't think that we would be seeing nearly as many comments about that. I think it has a lot to do with the way that she's portrayed specifically, and that the way they try to portray so many of these female characters, which is masculine. And also, if she hadn't said the retarded shit she said.
Oh, yeah.
If she was saying base stuff on the red carpet, I don't think anyone would be talking about the way she looks.
Well, yeah, and especially with the way that, they portray her character in the movie, a character that looks like she's never taken a shower, doesn't own a hairbrush, and wears a jacket that she won in a game of fucking gambling. Maybe if she was a little bit more feminine, people also would view her differently because the character would actually look put together and what you would expect from Supergirl. And then that paired with the actress, I don't know, just acting like a normal person on the red carpet. And instead of trying to divide people, that would have gone a very long way. It's like when House of the Dragon was coming out, I mean, of course, there's always going to be people online who say that someone's ugly. It's just an opinion. But I don't remember a lot of people saying that she was ugly or she was, terrible. I personally really liked her performance in House of the Dragon. Now, she had, only a couple of episodes that she was really in. And so it's not the kind of depth that I feel we're getting with Supergirl when it comes to the interviews, because in House of the Dragon, she was splitting the red carpet time and interviews with a lot of people, whereas the spotlight is solely on her now. But yeah, I mean, even the response just a few years ago with House of the Dragon was wildly different.
Yep. Sabatic Swez for $10. Hey Ryan, what'd you think of that Hot D after show? I haven't watched it yet. So right after the episodes end, I turn it off and I come upstairs to do the stream. So usually I do go back and watch them. I haven't had a chance to do it today. I was running around. As you can tell, I got my hair cut today. I know everybody noticed. I know everyone's complimenting me in the chat about it. So I got my hair cut today.
Looks exactly the fucking same that it normally does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It looks exactly the same.
Okay, actually, I'm wrong, because I feel like whenever you go and get your hair done, it looks like a Tony Hawk ramp where one side is straight up and then it curves downward. And I feel that it's so much worse when you initially get it done. And then, as time goes on and it grows out, it looks normal. But I mean, it looks fucking crazy. So maybe go to somebody different.
I think it looks awesome. But obviously it's freaking way shorter on the sides, Farrah. Everybody can tell.
Yeah, but it's like, it's literally, you know what? It's fine. It's your.
What are you talking? Like,
it's your head.
Yes,
of hair.
it is. It is going over to the side.
Opinion? Yep, it is.
But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. What did you think of last night's House of the Dragon episode?
I mean, the end of season 2 was a good ending to the season. Because that's what this episode was the end of season 2. I have so many problems with this season already. Like, Raina not acting like Damon's fucking kid and like not actually going and talking to her father, and then like, I don't know, I guess her, mother-in-law. It's House of the Dragon, right? So she's got 82 different family titles, but in going, hey, this is what happened, there's no communication. I hate that. I think it's dumb. I think that the Helena scenes were actually really cute. I love her. She's great. Too bad,
Do you think that there was a meta comment with Helena in this episode?
Which comment?
With the caterpillar?
I don't know.
Remember what she said? So
yeah, I guess I didn't think about it that much.
She like, as she's looking at the fucking caterpillar, because Helena's an autistic bug girl.
She is.
She's looking at it, she's like, it's not the right season. Like,
yeah.
It feels like a meta comment to me.
I was more paying attention to what her book said. So basically it said like, this type of caterpillar, once it turns into a butterfly, everyone around it dies. And then in the book it said like, I wonder if this is me, because everybody around her is constantly dying. And I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, I guess I was hyper fixating on the wrong element of that. But yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, like I feel like it could have been. There's like, after watching the first and second episode, it's obvious that these were the penultimate and the finale episodes for season 2. The problem is, I think if it was at the end of season 2, I think people would have very different feelings about season 2 as a whole.
Yes. I mean, I've said it before, a big issue I had with season 2 was that it felt like it led up to nothing, and that's because the season was cut short. And so if it had led up to this point, I would feel like, yeah, I think that there was a lot of filler, but at least it ended pretty interestingly.
Virtually all of the storylines that they set up in season 2 concluded in some way in this, right? Whether it was Damon's entire arc, you know, leading up to him supporting Rhaenyra and helping her take the throne, whether it was the whole Velaryon plot with Corlys and his bastard sons and accepting them and stuff like that. Jace's entire arc, right? Where he's doing everything he can to be the right dutiful prince, but he keeps being held out of things. His position, he feels like it's threatened because now you have bastards who are taking dragons, which him as a bastard now feels like then people will look at him as maybe a bastard and feels like he desperately needs to do something, and he takes action and gets killed. Like, clearly this is supposed to be a finale. And I think if it was the finale, although not as good as season 1, I think people would have different thoughts about season 2 as a whole if these came out. Unfortunately, we've had a 2-year gap since then. So for these to be the first 2 episodes of a new season, it feels weird. It feels strange. You know, the fact, like, the whole Otto thing feels weird.
Now, if I hated that.
If it happened 2 years ago, where we see a couple episodes of Otto, he gets dismissed, there's a couple mentions about him, we see one brief shot of him in a fucking like chained up somewhere, and then it gets revealed that he's been there the whole time. I don't think it comes off as shitty because we haven't waited 2 more years for the return of Otto Hightower.
Right.
Right. So it's tough. Overall, there are things that I liked about both of these episodes and things I despised. Changes they made that I despise. Changes that I wish they would have made where they stuck to the book. I agree. The Rhaena thing sucks. Yes, they're combining her and Nettle's character arcs. And I think they're doing it. This is a huge problem with House of the Dragon is I think they're sacrificing plot for emotional character complications, right? Because I think that the people in the writer's room think that that's more interesting. And it can be, but you have to have the plot to back it up. So when you start to reach the point where things don't seem believable, where plans are enacted that don't seem believable or realistic, and it stretches the bounds of you believing that this could happen, anything that you think could be good character or emotional moments are undercut by people not being able to buy in that this would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that the depth of the character relationships, though, is so strange because, again, like that emotional storyline, right, can work, but Rhaena and Bela, they never talk to Damon. You barely even fucking remember that that's his kids. Except for like at the beginning of the show in season 1 where they're like, hey, just so you know, these are his kids, and that's it. You have Rhaenyra, who I feel personally didn't even really have that good of a connection on screen with any of her kids. And now that like the kids that were supposed to be a driving factor in the battle and after the battle just are wiped away, wiped from the slate, that's very strange to me. I hope that it all goes somewhere good, but I don't trust the writers, and that's my problem is that it started off with a lot of small changes, and then they got bigger and bigger. It's kind of like how I felt with The Witcher. Season 1 was not, it wasn't 100% accurate to the source material, but it felt like The Witcher. It had those core relationships and plot elements and storylines. And then season 2, it got much further away from the material. And then, of course, now we're, you know, multiple seasons in, and it's nothing like The Witcher except for the name The Witcher.
I do think there's a difference between this and The Witcher, right? Where you have books and you have the video games and all this shit. Fire and Blood we're talking about 25 pages of Fire and Blood that is not like where all the characters are extraordinarily one-dimensional. They're not even really characters. They're just like stand-ins for an archetype. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
but
it gives you the freedom to do things. However, some of the things they changed worked remarkably well. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Viserys is all the writers of House of the Dragon. That's not George's shit. That's not how Viserys is supposed to be. They really dug in and made Viserys a really intriguing character.
Yeah,
Otto Hightower, like even though Otto Hightower is in the books, and I think it's a decent representation from the books, what Rhys Ifans brings and what the writing team brings as well for him in the first season and a couple episodes of the second season is really fucking good. You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of those things are additions.
True.
But on the flip side, for everything like that we have, there's really frustrating changes. And at its core was the writer's decision to make this inherently a story about two female friends, Alicent and Rhaenyra, and to put such a focus of the story. And to be fair, this is certainly an overarching message in George R. R. Martin's work about the status of women in the world of Westeros, right? The way that they're looked at, the way they aren't respected, the things they have to deal with sometimes simply because they were born with a vagina instead of a dick. And George goes out of his way to talk about these things and make it a part of his writing. However, the decision to make two women in power or attempting to live in power in a man's world such a huge beat you over the head every fucking episode with that stuff, those are some of the reasons why the show's suffering.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's not like it is The Witcher where you've got books and books of character dialogue and you really get to understand and know those characters. But even in Fire and Blood, there are moments where a character shift should happen that they are refusing to do in the show, like with Rhaenyra. After Jace dies, that is it. It is no holds barred, gloves are off, she wants revenge. And even the illustrations of her sitting on the Iron Throne for the first time, and she's so angry and she's readjusting her armor that has the blood on it. That is very impactful, but instead they put her on the throne and she's crying and she's looking at Alicent and she's so sad. Like, that shouldn't be what happens. And so, yeah, you don't have the play-by-play of like the dialogue or exactly what would happen in that moment, but the general tone should be able to stay the same when you don't really have a lot of source material to go off of.
Well, and Gemma Walter says, because it's nonsensical, no one would follow a woman and the kingdom wouldn't last very long either. That's kind of part of what this story is.
Yes.
And I think by the way they depicted Rhaenyra last night, I think that's where they're going. I don't think that's the intention of their message, but that will be the end result. And, you know, what we saw with Rhaenyra last night, I was surprised in a good way, because I thought they were going to show her being super competent and fucking grabbing a sword and slashing people and like all this shit. And I was like deathly afraid that was going to happen. Then they showed her just be super fucking weak and kind of pathetic. And in front of everyone on public display, the reality that she is not prepared for this. She is not somebody that people are really going to follow for a long period of time.
See, I partially agree, because I thought that they were going to show her being in this situation, but being really hot-headed, but not competent, like wildly swinging her sword around, being very angry, being very emotional, just not crying, but being mad. And because we didn't get that, and that's kind of what I was expecting, it felt like it fell flat. Like, I'm sorry, you should be doing a little bit more when you finally get to this position. But yeah, I mean, she is pretty incompetent overall, and I'm glad that they didn't suddenly turn her into this like crazy commander chick who knows how to do everything and did everything perfectly. Like, that's not how they portrayed it. So that's at least something.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were gonna do when they started setting up this scene. I was like, oh fuck no. And then she can't do anything. She gets laughed at when she like pulls her sword out. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Well, the answer is nothing. She couldn't even behead this fucking dude who's done so much damage to her life, who is her father's best friend who betrayed him, like all this shit. But I do agree with you. I think they should have shown her a little more unhinged and crazy rather than just weak and pathetic. I think you could have had a balance of those things. As long as they don't make her look competent, because they shouldn't.
Yeah,
and I want to see her ass get cut by that fucking Iron Throne next week.
I really, really hope that they do show that. I mean, at this point, I just want the next few episodes to not feel like filler, because that's my big worry with all of this dramatic like all of these dramatic scenes and storytelling happening at the beginning of the season, because it was supposed to be the end of last season. I am so afraid that the next few episodes are just going to feel so dull and boring and like filler.
Well, we've had a lot to start the season, so I am okay if next episode is a little bit more, let's bring it back and reassess the status of things, which I don't necessarily think is filler.
But that's not, that I wouldn't really classify that as filler. But if like it's Reyna going out and making a fire and talking to her dragon and being like, how can I make my family happy? That is filler, and that's stupid filler.
Yeah, so I think that next episode we're going to see kind of what's described in the book in a way, which is Rhaenyra holding court and like all these people that are bending the knee to her and stuff. Like she's actually going to have to start trying to be a queen, and she's going to be very uncomfortable doing it. Her and Alicent obviously are going to have to fucking talk again about what just happened. Like she walks in and fucking sees her dad dead on the floor. But what's happening with Rhaena next? The Rhaena stuff is stupid, but what they're going to set up is, my opinion, Daemon, who is now fully like embraced destiny and the visions, the Targaryen, like what they're supposed to be doing to eventually, stand against the White Walkers, all this bullshit. He's embraced that, helping Rhaenyra and kind of given up his desire to be on the throne. That's all going to be thrown into like out of balance when Rhaenyra, who commanded him to go find whoever was riding Sheep Stealer and kill them, when he goes to do that and he finds his daughter. And one of the things that Daemon had in those visions was the ghost of his wife guilt tripping him about not being there for his kids.
See, I don't think they're going to send. I don't think she's going to send Daemon to do that. I think Baela is going to want to go and do that, and then it's going to be the sister like tension and rivalry there.
Now she already told Daemon to do that, and he said he would.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's the Nettles storyline, right?
Well, right. And that's the thing is like, I'm also imagining it from the angle of them just writing what they want and not just the Nettles storyline.
I think that would be them writing what they want, because I think they're going to feel like that creates a lot of emotional conflict, you know? So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that's enough House of the Dragon talk. Snacks! Supergirl will lose money and gun guzzlers are weird. We'll talk about Supergirl next. Don't worry. Don't worry. My male straight friend watched Supergirl and said it's very good. He learned 2 things from this. He's a homosexual, and now I'm not his friend. Well, best to get all the gays out of your life quickly. You don't want them to infect you, Callum. Forest Beyond the Trees for $20. Just bought a display box of Phantasmal Flames. Call me in tomorrow night. I'm ready to rip. Hey, that's awesome. I was able to get my hands on some Phantasmal Flames in the latest Walmart drop, so I was excited about that. But I'm happy for you, Phantasmal Flames. That's awesome. Not Phantasmal Flames. Forest Beyond the Trees. All I'm thinking about is Pokemon now.
Ryan, I used to myself have a distributor account for. I don't remember what they changed their name to, but I used to have a distributor account for TCGs, and I used to be able to just buy Pokemon at cost.
What the fuck?
And I could just get a million boxes of it. I could say I want 50 boxes of XYZ, and I could get it shipped to me in 3 days.
That's probably so difficult to do now. There's so many damn resellers.
I mean, I still have the account.
Reactivate it. Reactivate.
I had to, but the main one that I had was Magazine Exchange. But yeah, I could probably get it reactivated.
You should. Considering the amount of people who like resell and stuff like that now, you should 100%.
Yeah.
Let's go, Vera. Come on. Come on. Big Papa Pump for 5. What? Supergirl's bombing? The numbers don't lie. They don't. Big Papa Pump. Son, you're not alone. With wouldn't that be the wrong like grammatical version of your? Unless it's Sony, our not alone. Which would also be weird grammatically. But anyway, for $3, Supergirl needs 600 million roughly to break even. It does. It does need about 600 million to break even. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Name doesn't matter for $10. Saw Supergirl. Alcock is not good as Supergirl, but I can't tell if it's her fault or the poor material she was given, or both. It's the worst movie I've seen this year, and I've seen Mando and Gronk. I feel like I can't actually make a judgment on Millie Alcock's performance in this movie because the writing is so fucking retarded that, to me, this is what they wanted her to do. If she was given a script, maybe she could do a good job. I feel a lot more confident that if David Corenswet was given a good script, that he could be a fantastic Superman than I feel about Millie Alcock. I just feel like I don't even know what Millie Alcock could do as Supergirl.
Yeah, no, I agree, because sometimes you'll have a really phenomenal actor be given a really bad script, and you would never know that they were a good actor if that was the only thing you had ever watched them do. Now, of course, I don't think that Millie Alcock, based on the couple of things I've ever seen her in, I don't think I could say that she's a great actor, or even a fantastic actress or anything like that. But yeah, I didn't feel very strongly about her performance. I don't think that she did great. I don't think that she did the worst job possible. I just think that the writing was also horrendous.
SCDB, Ryan's steak is too juicy and his lobster is too buttery. Mr. Worldwide complaining about being Mr. Worldwide. Ultimate first world problems. What do you mean? What, traveling? Is that what you mean? Is that the criticism? I do like Pitbull. But thank you, SCDB. Mad Dog for $1. I'm going to Disneyland, LA for 4th of July. I hope something happens so I can report to Jay. He gets a hard-on for anything parks related. Also, finished watching you guys break down today at work. Hey, hope you enjoy it. It's fucking 4 hours of my life. Mad Dog for $2. Don't get me wrong, or I was wrong. I thought Bayla saw it was Raina flying, but I guess she didn't. It was only Jace.
Yeah, it was
and
only
did you watch
Jace.
the trailer for next week? I think we're doing a Padme with Dayron, and we get Tumbleton. Yeah. So, like, you know, when you fucking told me without a shadow of a doubt that this actor was Dayron and that was Dayron and all that stuff.
He is.
Is it confirmed? Because there's a lot of people that are speculating that that is not him and that it's like a double.
So I guess we will find out. But the same people that were leaking the scenes, like the kissing between Eamon and Alicent, and leaking all the plot details, also said that this is a decoy that they are handing over, and that the ginger from last episode is actually Darren. Yes.
Okay, so like what I had heard was that the decoy was him, that he was the decoy. That's what I had heard.
Who knows? Yeah. But I also think a problem is that the actor
is
that
relevant.
We saw last episode, yes, is very relevant.
But he may not have been relevant when he got cast in it.
Well, he had already been in a couple of things by that point.
Right, but he wasn't Link.
No, he wasn't Link at that point. Yeah, he was probably they were probably for both of them cast right around the same time.
Right. So like that's my thing is I could totally see them casting this guy to be this kind of obscure, because look, there's a lot of like semi well-known actors who play very small roles in House of the Dragon, even as it is. I could totally see them casting just a guy who hasn't had a ton of roles as this decoy Daron, and then in between he gets cast as fucking Link in the Zelda movie, and then all of a sudden people are like, why isn't he Daron? Why this doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, you know? I guess we'll find out, but I will say that Link's actor, his name is Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. He has been in a yeah, exactly. He has been in quite a lot of things recently. All Fun and Games, Pinocchio, Sandman, Haunting of Bly Manor. So like he's not unknown the way that this other actor that we're seeing is unknown. So yeah. But according to the leaks, the blonde one that we saw in the trailer for next episode is the fake.
Okay. And is he dyeing his hair?
Who knows? You'd think that, you know, they don't have bleach in Westeros. I can understand color, right? Oh, I'm blonde, but I'm coloring my hair ginger, but not the other way around. But this is also,
I mean, it would not be the first time that a Targaryen like colored
Dario
their hair.
Naharis had like a blue mustache and a blue beard, and you know, Kira of Tyrosh had pink hair. So,
and we did see that.
Yep, we did.
We did see that.
Only for 2 seconds, but yes.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't get to see, you know, fake Aegon Targaryen in the Game of Thrones show like we probably should have, but I would have hoped that he would have had blue hair.
Yeah.
And John Connington. No John Connington.
It's true.
Wangol, Ryan, if you ever go to Australia, there's a plant called the Jimpy plant. Sounds One Piece-ish, but looks normal. Leaves one graze. You feel like you're going to be burnt for months. Yeah, I'll try to avoid it. That doesn't sound fun. Australia sounds dangerous. Deeds Minnesota with a gifted subscription. Thank you, Deeds, over on Rumble. And Pugs 4 with 5 gifted subscriptions over on Rumble. Shout out, Pugs. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then Mad Dog for $1. The scene of Corlys telling Alan he will give him his name. Meanwhile, his other bastard son with the dragon he doesn't say anything to. I had a nitpick like, what the fuck? Why would he ignore him? I think that Corlys will acknowledge both of his sons, but clearly we've had more of the conversation with Alan and the connection with Alan. And Alan is the one who's had such had a bigger problem with Corlys throughout this entire thing.
Yes.
I did like in the last episode when Alan says like father when Corlys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do think that was a good moment. It was in the middle of heat of battle and everything, but I do think that's a good moment.
Yeah, I think that both of them will be recognized, and I do think that both of them are going to be pretty important to Corlys, but I think that they've established that he's got more of a connection to Alan, and I think that they understand each other sort of a lot better because, of course, you know, sure, he has all these people around him that are also dragon riders, but he can't connect in that way to those characters on that level.
Corlys, Corlys throughout this entire show has been really obsessed with his legacy. Yeah. He's been obsessed with his name living on in the annals of history. He's been obsessed with what he's been able to build this house into, that people don't respect him enough because he did build this house up to what it is, the powerful house that it is. It was Corlys. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he wants his grandchildren on the throne. He wants all this stuff. And because they had his name, even though he knew they weren't really his blood, he knew that they were bastards. But it didn't matter as long as the Velaryon name got like etched in the annals of history. He was okay with that. He was okay with handing over Driftmark and High Tide to somebody that wasn't even his blood because they had his name. And now all of that's gone. And he does right in front of him have somebody that is his blood and actually is very much like him in terms of a sailor in touch with the sea. Like that is Alan, you know? Like that is Alan, and he is like, he's recognizing that as all the stuff that he's lost and all the things he's been obsessed with have now burnt up. He's lost his wife, he's lost his fucking kids, he's lost his grandkids, he's lost everything. And but in front of him, he has someone who actually is his blood and can carry on his house in a proper way.
Yeah, I agree.
But let's get to fucking Supergirl, shall we? We've been going an hour almost, and we haven't talked about Supergirl, really.
Yay, woo, Supergirl. So exciting.
So this has been an embarrassing failure in every way. Did you see the movie, by the way?
I did see the movie. Yep.
What'd you think of it?
It was bad. It's just not good. Now, I don't think that the source material is very good. I don't think that Tom King's story was very good. It is very worrying that they are basing the DCU on a lot of his work, especially going into Wonder Woman. That is a major fucking red flag. But yeah, I just thought that the movie in general was not good. It looked visually so dull and dreary when the art in the comic in Woman of Tomorrow was so bright and colorful. And I do think that it would look a little bit gay on screen with all of the rainbows all the time. But I do think that it at least would have been visually distinct and it would have been interesting. And then, I mean, we got this that looks like every other fucking superhero movie now.
And just like so many female-led superhero movies that have attempted to court a female audience over the years, Supergirl is a massive box office bomb. It got decimated by Toy Story at the box office. Toy Story 5 posts $70 million in second weekend. Supergirl doesn't fly with $38 million opening. That's actually a $37 million opening now. And now you've got the headline, top of deadline, by the way. How Supergirl ran into kryptonite at the box office. Superman's cousin to lose $125 million. Let's be very clear and explicit. Supergirl is going to lose money. It's going to be way more than $125 million.
Yes.
It is going to be significantly more. But, we all thought as of yesterday, and again, we get the big box office weekend reports on Sunday, and it comes out Sunday morning. And those include Saturday numbers and what they believe Sunday will be based off the tracking, the estimates they have. Those are always adjusted slightly on Mondays, sometimes a little up, sometimes a little down. Well, what we thought it was going to be was $38 million domestic opening and a $68 million worldwide opening. Unfortunately for Supergirl, both of those numbers were still a little bit too high because as of today, we got it down to 37 million domestic, and worldwide, it is not flying worldwide. People hate this thing internationally. It just keeps getting worse for Supergirl. International estimates had it at a lowly 30 million. Actuals came in at 25.5, $62.5 million worldwide.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, even the audience that they're trying to market this to, like, I'm a great example of that. A woman who has previously really enjoyed comics and superhero movies and really loves DC. I had no interest in watching it anyway, but I have absolutely no interest in the future of Supergirl's character in this context. I think that this was just, such a terrible movie that when you start losing women like me, and you have pushed away your existing male audience, you're setting yourself up for disaster because the normie women on TikTok aren't going to give a fuck about a film like this, and international audiences don't either.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of that, right? Let me share a different tab that I have here. We know what the next step is, where the media is going to blame men, where they're going to blame fans, they're going to blame misogyny, all this stuff. And that's already started to some extent, right? New York Times blames misogyny after Supergirl crashes at the box office. Mary Sue, you don't have to like Supergirl, but writing a sexist review just makes you gross. All this shit. We've seen Warner Brothers executives asking about the social media toxicity starting Amelia Alcock. We were surprised by both the ferocity of the backlash and its reach, believing the culture had evolved past that sort of campaign. People just don't like it. Shut the fuck up, you gay retards. But speaking of women, this is a movie that very specifically went out of its way to try to court young women and get young women into the theaters to watch this movie. That did not happen. Spoiler alert. I know it's shocking news, but when a comic book movie comes out, predominantly the people that are going to go are older men. That's who's going to go watch comic book movies, because that, for the entirety of eternity, has been the predominant consumers of comic books, of superhero stories.
What? That's who's no, I don't believe you.
And even for Supergirl, with all the shit they fucking said, all this stuff, guess who went? 65% of the audience was over 25 and 59% was male. You went out of your way to court a female audience. That audience didn't fucking show up. So imagine, right, if you hadn't gone out of your way to tell men to go fuck themselves and all these things, you might have had a higher percentage of men overall actually turn up and try to support this thing and go and give it a chance. Now, I think this movie fails, even if Millie Alcock doesn't say anything wrong, because of the writing, because of the story, because what they decided to do, the story they decided to adapt, even if they didn't do it and adapt it very well. Ultimately, we continue to see female-led superhero movies flounder at the box office because they're not letting them be female superheroes. They're insistent upon making them masculine. And that doesn't fly. People don't want to watch that. Men don't want to watch that. Most women don't want to watch that either. But for some reason, they continue to push that message over and over again.
Yeah, if we hadn't been beat over the head with these types of characters for the past decade, I think my opinion would be different. I don't hate the idea of a flawed female character who isn't, wearing skirts and is all rainbow and sunshine. She's not super feminine. I am not opposed to that idea, but I think that the story has to make sense. I think that the, actress and the marketing has to make sense, but also I think that when every single character that we're seeing that are female superheroes right now, when they are this type of character, it's annoying and nobody wants to watch that over and over. We've got in all of the Harley Quinn products between the Birds of Prey and the Suicide Squads. That hasn't worked out. We've got in the more flawed women like Captain Marvel, who it doesn't exist to be nice on the eyes for you, and she's a strong, independent woman that doesn't need anybody. We've gotten the Black Widows. We've gotten the She-Hulks. We've gotten, for DC characters,
I think that's a problem, though, right? Because there's nothing wrong with having a flawed hero. We should have a flawed hero. We should have a perfect one. I think the problem is, typically, in a lot of these male hero stories, you have these heroes that have some sort of crisis or some sort of problem or whatever, and they realize they make a change and they become what they need to be be a hero.
Right.
In so many of the female ones, it's like, yeah, they're flawed and they're a piece of shit and they're a loser and all this stuff. But in actuality, it's society. They're the ones that have to change and embrace me. It's actually been within me all along. I've had what it takes to be a hero all along. Everybody else just has to kind of accept it, or I have to accept myself type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's frustrating.
Yeah, these writers in Hollywood, they should probably study Joseph Campbell's work, because the problem is that none of the female characters go on the hero's journey. Hollywood is promoting the mindset and they are pushing the narrative that as a woman, it is okay to be flawed because society has pushed you down for centuries upon centuries, and women have always been historically wronged. And so you shouldn't change for the patriarchy, and you shouldn't change to fit other people's you know, ideas of what a woman should be, and you are a strong woman who doesn't need anybody else, and that is the major issue. Even Supergirl in this, they almost try to make it seem like she's changed, but she doesn't really change. It's just the way that these characters view her changes, like Ruthie, because Ruthie suddenly she understands why Kara acts this way. She understands why Kara is so flawed and upset. So it's not really her changing. It's that they want to try to convince you that, oh, well, that's good enough storytelling because you sympathize with her, but it's still not the fucking same at all whatsoever.
Yeah, it's same shit with Captain Marvel. It runs throughout a lot of these female stories, which is not enjoyable for people to watch. We like seeing flawed characters who grow. We like seeing flawed characters that change for the better. We like seeing flawed characters that ultimately have a mindset change and make a sacrifice and go from being maybe selfish and self-serving to self-sacrificial. What we don't like is when we have these characters that are presented as flawed, but you're actually supposed to think it's fucking cool and badass and you don't want them to change. You know, you can do those once in a while, but like a character you should not be doing that with is Supergirl of all characters. And also, probably shouldn't have been a standalone movie. It certainly shouldn't have been the second movie in the DCU lineup. And I think James Gunn is fucking finished. I think he's fucking done.
It was always so strange to me that this was the second movie that they really decided to bank on, because if this released, I don't know, 5 or 6 movies in, I also think that people's opinions would be slightly different. But whereas this is really what they're pushing, and this is the start of it still, it just felt so misplaced and poorly timed.
Well, remember, it wasn't supposed to be. Like, if you remember, it was not supposed to be that way. I just need to see if I can find the Gods and Monsters DC slate thing that they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't remember what the like exact timeline was supposed to be, but you're right. It wasn't supposed to be the number 2 that they were banking on. They just ended up changing so much of their initial plan and altering so much of their initial plan that now it's unrecognizable.
I'm looking for that fucking post because they had it laid out in like a very specific timeline. And I think Batman Brave and the Bold was supposed to come out before Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter.
I do remember that, though, yeah.
Remember the Amanda Waller show, the Booster Gold show, The Authority. The Authority was supposed to be the second movie. It was supposed
to be, I think it was supposed to be like Superman and then Clayface and then like Commandos. And then we started getting into like Lanterns and then Supergirl, from what I remember.
It was like DCU Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
Wow.
I wish I could find, I know it exists out there. James Gunn, DCU Chapter 1.
So I think this might be it. It's on Reddit. I'll post it in the private chat if that is the image, but it says, yeah, Creature Commandos.
Is it like?
Yeah.
I think this is a good enough. It's not the one I'm looking for. The one it's like kind of a grainy picture with James Gunn in front of a projector.
Yeah.
But I do think that this.
But I think this is the general timeline that it was depicting initially. But I know the picture you're talking about.
This isn't what I was talking about, but I can show it anyway. This is like a updated version. Because originally Supergirl was not supposed to release then. Originally Authority was set to release before this. This is like all the things that they did announce at one point and now are just kind of up in the air. But like, see, they've even got like Blue Beetle, like another Blue Beetle project here. But there is a lot of the stuff they announced. Booster Gold, Paradise Lost, which is just not happening anymore. Brave and the Bold, which apparently we've got a Batman cast, guys. Hey, you know what news will distract from Supergirl bombing at the box office? It'll be if we leak a rumor that Batman has officially been cast, guys. That'll do it. That'll save James Gunn's job.
Yeah.
the Booster Gold project, which is fucking DOA. It sounds like the Waller show, which sounds like it's DOA. Yeah, this was not originally the plan. So Supergirl was originally supposed to be over here somewhere. Brave and the Bold was supposed to be before. The Authority was supposed to be before. But the script was just so good.
Yeah, I found the YouTube announcement from the beginning of 2023 January that says Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, but now I don't know if this is in the exact order, but it was supposed to be Superman, Creature Commandos, Waller, Lanterns. It says The Authority, Paradise Lost, Brave and the Bold, Booster Gold, Supergirl, and then it was supposed to end on, or no, I think Supergirl's the last one. Yeah. Oh, Swamp Thing. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it was originally, remember, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow was the title of that.
Yeah.
They just then called it Supergirl, and they did Man of Tomorrow for the next Superman movie.
What a clusterfuck.
It's a nightmare.
My God. It's horrendous what they're doing. They have no idea what they want. I think, okay, initially they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and it just never went anywhere, and they had to start changing everything around because it started getting away from them. But who knows? I don't trust any of these people to do anything the proper way. I think that they half-ass literally everything they do, so yeah.
Yeah, I think so. This is not the order that it was supposed to be, but those are some of the things. Because The Authority was supposed to be the second fucking movie they came out with, I believe. It might have been the second project, but yeah. Gods and Monsters. Like, does this feel so far like Gods and Monsters? Creature Commandos, I guess Monsters. Superman, Peacemaker Season 2, Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface, Monster, okay.
I did find, and it's someone reposted today. I found the image, but it's got X's through the projects.
Yes. Oh, that's the one.
But it's got the X's through it, but I just fucking found it. Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna stop until I find this stupid image. I don't care if it takes me the entire goddamn stream.
Yes, this is it. This is 100% what I was looking for. And I'm fine with the X's because it's even more embarrassing.
Yep.
Like, this was their fucking plan. And look at what's happened to it. Like, Superman, The Authority. Just in terms of movies, this is what the order was supposed to be. The Authority, Batman, Brave and the Bold, then Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, then Swamp Thing. And over here you see, I guess I don't know what that was supposed to be. But the Waller show, Booster Gold, Lanterns is happening, I guess. Paradise Lost, which was, by the way, Paradise Lost was supposed to be a Game of Thrones type of show set on Themyscira. Fuck. That's James Gunn's plan right there.
It's so depressing that they have such amazing characters to use and to show off, and so many amazing characters and storylines that they could adapt, and yet they are hell-bent on doing the worst job possible, and it is already a fucking disgrace to these characters' legacies.
I guess we should have known that this wasn't a serious, like, that this wasn't going to be serious when James Gunn presented this in, like, the conference room of a Hilton hotel, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it looked like, this presser that they did. It looked like it was in the fucking local Marriott, like, conference room that they rented out. Hey, we only got an hour, guys. We got to hurry this up. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fucking embarrassing, bro.
I saw some reports and like rumors about that they cast Batman. I don't remember the actor's name. I hope that it's not true. I hope not. It seems that they don't even. We know James Gunn doesn't care about Batman. He has already voiced his disinterest in Batman, which I think if you really want the centerpiece for the DCU to be Superman to start out with, that's fine. I think Superman is a great character. I think, though, that it needs to be the right Superman story. And the fact that Superman only made a little bit upwards of $600 million and that a Superman movie didn't make $1 billion at the box office, that is pretty embarrassing.
Let me see if I can find what you're talking about here. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
I think it was
Tom Brittney?
Yeah, Tom Brittney, I want to say.
This is one of the big reports that's come out over the past 24 hours here. Tom Brittney rumored for Batman as James Gunn's DC chaos grows. This is from Cosmic Book News. He's claiming some inside sources that say that he has his Batman, but that there's a problem because after the high profile failures that now like Matt Reeves doesn't want Batman to be used and the people at Warner Brothers aren't sure if they should let James Gunn move forward with a Batman movie, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I can pull this over here. Update, the rumor may have originated from Beyond Reporter 1 account on X. We'll see. To be clear, we don't know if this means the Brave and the Bold is moving forward or if Batman could show up in Man of Tomorrow. What we've been told is Man of Tomorrow could be it for James Gunn and his DCU to expect big cameos and fan service. Could you imagine if James Gunn's last act is Man of Tomorrow, which I believe it will be. I think he's done after that. But in it, he introduces Wonder Woman. He introduces Batman. He pulls out a bunch of fucking cameos. That would just fuck them over even more for the future.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Black Adam and saying, hey, we're going to bring Henry back. Everybody was hyped. Everybody was so excited. And obviously that never went anywhere. And that did a lot of damage to them. So if you start casting these new actors and you start showing off what could be, it would definitely hurt them. But I agree. I think that if the next movie does not do good, I think James Gunn is cooked. I don't think he's going to get any more money. I think he is going to be sent into the sunset, and that will be that.
I think they make the decision before Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn's contract runs out before Man of Tomorrow comes in theaters. Now, he would have done all the work on it. It would have been complete. But him and Peter Safran's contract runs out. And look, Peter Safran is the co-head of DC Studios.
Right.
I think that rightly so, we put more of the like pressure on James Gunn as the creative force, and I think that's right to put more of the blame on him. Whereas Peter Safran is more like the producer aspect of this. But I mean, Peter Safran's now released he's produced 6 movies for DC, and 4 of them have been major flops and failures. So like, he did Aquaman. And everyone's like, hey, that made $1 billion. So let's fucking go. That's what they did.
It's crazy to me that movie made $1 billion fucking dollars, but that's okay. It wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was like
I just
very
don't
generic.
think right. I don't think that it was anything that was so special that I was like, oh my God, I think that this definitely deserves to make that much money.
It was like the Black Panther for everyone else except black people because they don't like swim in, doesn't really relate to them. So
yeah,
unless you're Corliss, he swam in that armor.
He did.
He swam in that armor.
Guess he's just special like that.
He is built different. BMC CB for $20. Hopefully in a week or two, you guys won't have to say Alcock every 5 minutes.
Probably will still have to.
Alcock still sounds weird.
Yeah.
Millie Alcock.
Yeah, I say it Alcock.
I usually end up saying Alcock, but I don't. I think it's pronounced Alcock. Millie Alcock.
How many times can we say this in a row before YouTube demonetizes the stream?
I don't think they will. It's not monetized. Gregory Lieber for 5. When Hot D came out, me and my buddy both thought she looked like a sheep with downs.
Brutal.
Rough.
I mean, I get it. I see it. I do.
Take her for $5. Saw Toy Story 5. Figured they had to get Bonnie a black friend so she could deny being racist when she goes to college. Jessie's voice was weird. Well, the actress who plays Jessie's like fucking 70 years old.
Yeah, she is.
I've always kind of disliked Jessie as a character in Toy Story, and I've always found her voice annoying as shit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Joan Cusack is not, in my opinion, she doesn't have the best voice, obviously, but I think that her voice is still very distinct. So it's recognizable.
And I don't know if she's supposed to be black or she's supposed to be Indian, by the way. The little girl in Toy Story 5.
No idea.
Some type of brown. East Coast Toasty Boy. My Adventures with Superman has its flaws with casting portrayals, but that show's version of Supergirl is one of the best. I think there have been several better depictions of Supergirl. Now, like a lot of people are like, oh, Melissa Benoist or Benoist, whatever her fucking name is. Do you know how to pronounce that name?
No, I say Benoit, but I mean, I guess it is what it is.
I say Melissa Benoist, like Chris Benoit. But I don't think it's even close to the way it's supposed to be pronounced. But
probably not.
There are some things I liked about her portrayal. However, like the entire purpose of that character was to be more like Superman than Supergirl. It was meant to be a stand-in for Superman in the same way that Arrow is kind of a stand-in for Batman. Like with the CW stuff, since they didn't have a ton of permissions initially to use some of those characters.
Yeah, my issue with that Supergirl has always and will always be that with the first few core Arrowverse series and the first few seasons, I thought that they were really good. I thought they were really interesting. But the problem is that Supergirl started off with feminist bullshit, and every man is incompetent or rude or a piece of garbage to her or to the other women around her. And she is, I guess, honestly, her Supergirl is kind of like this Supergirl, which is, I only care about saving and protecting women because I am a woman who has been wronged. So, yeah.
Dumb Stupid for dude. Hey, Ryan, where's the repost of FML 41? I don't know if I ever reposted it. MIA. That's my bad. Probably wasn't anything of value in it. Single guy cooking. Get laid off tomorrow. Fuck my life.
Oof.
That sucks.
That does suck.
I wouldn't even show up to work if I knew I was getting fired. So you maybe technically laid off tonight. But that sucks, man. That's not fun.
Yeah, no.
Strong opinions. With Japan eliminated from the World Cup, Ryan, when are you going back to Japan to console the Japanese with your company? I mean, I'm probably going back next year, but it won't have anything to do with fucking soccer. Just for the record. Like, I hate soccer. I hate people talking about it. Yeah. I hate the World Cup. I hate everybody pretending like they care about soccer for 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, I hate soccer, but I hate most sports, but I played soccer for a bunch of years when I was young, so fuck soccer. Soccer's so stupid.
Yeah, that's what they have all the super unathletic kids play. So that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yep, it is true. I always was more into the music and the artsy fartsy dumbass wastes of time.
Yeah, not necessarily a waste, but depends what you do with your life, I suppose.
Yeah, it really depends, but
Mad Dog for $2 on Rumble says, I won't see Supergirl. I don't really care, but all the people saying Millie's ugly are stupid as fuck. Let's see what you look like or what your girlfriend looks like. She got done dirty. Not fair to attack her looks, in my opinion. I think I think that people are being a little unrealistic with their judgment of Millie Alcock's looks. But what I will say is the problem in my mind is the way that she is presented in the movie and the promotional material, and then the fact that she opened her mouth and said retarded things. I think all those things combined are what's generated a lot of the negativity. Whereas I think if she had never said those things and said all the right things, I think people would probably be taking a slightly different approach. However, I can see if people have some criticism of her looks, that's not the reason why this movie's failing. People are like, if Sydney Sweeney was in this movie, it would be like, really? And I'm like, Sydney Sweeney's been in plenty of movies that don't do shit at the fucking box office, and all you motherfuckers jerk off to her all day. So like, that's not all it takes. In the same way with Rachel Zegler, like, I don't think that Rachel Zegler's ugly, but what makes her unattractive is all the retarded shit that she's said. You know,
attitude is a big part of the level of attractiveness somebody has. I mean, you could have also like the hottest guy imaginable. You could have like, I don't know, argument's sake, Henry fucking Cavill, but if he's talking about feminist nonsense and saying he fucking stands with the women and he's got a pride pin on, well, I'm sorry, that makes you way fucking uglier because of your attitude and the way that you're talking and the way that you're upholding yourself.
Correct. And then Supreme Lord. Y'all know it's really wild. The DCU barely even got the longevity the Snyderverse did, yet they were already a failure before it even started. Didn't even last that long, and it's already fucking dead. Well, look at all the cope surrounding, like, you see some of the shill accounts that are coping so hard over the failure of Supergirl and trying to keep their little whatever they have going. And y'all remember when Batman v Superman made $900 million and it was fucking panic in the streets? It was blow everything up, like replace Zack Snyder. Like, that's what happened when Batman v Superman made $900 million and was slightly profitable, but a box office disappointment, right? It absolutely was. They expected to get over $1 billion. It didn't do that. Here we have Supergirl, which is probably going to make 150 million.
That's crazy. I at least expected it to hit 200. And I think for now, I will still be a little bit more generous and just say under 200. But even if it is under 200, it's still a massive failure, regardless of if it hits 140 or 180 or even 200.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to, I don't think there's any way it's going to do 200. This thing opened to almost half of what the Marvels opened to.
Yeah.
This thing opened, 62.5 million. Morbius opened to 84 million.
Yeah.
That ended at around 160.
It's true.
Like, genuinely, this thing could be 130, 140 million dollars.
It could be. And all I can say is FAFO. You make a bad movie, you win bad prizes.
At least you pissed off the right people.
Exactly.
Mad Dog. I don't know if you guys really liked X-Men 97. I personally really liked it, but I never watched the old cartoon. It was made before I was born. 3 episodes dropped Wednesday. I'm curious how it does without Bo. I didn't watch it. Don't really care about it. I think that Bo DeMeo is somebody who cares a lot about the stuff he's making. I also think he's like a fake victim weirdo and a major fucking activist. And just because somebody says something you agree with about a company that you also hate doesn't mean that this person themselves is not a massive fucking activist and a weirdo creep.
Yep, I agree.
And that's kind of been my entire thing about Bo DeMeo the entire time. The idea that Marvel for people that don't know, he claims that Marvel fired him because he's black and gay. And it's like, do we really believe that? Or was there maybe a little truth to you being weird in the workplace?
Right, this was Marvel 2025, not Marvel fucking 10 years ago. This is Marvel now. You're saying that you genuinely believe that they wouldn't have jumped on the opportunity to promote somebody like that and keep somebody on projects like that if they were doing a good job. Like, of course they'd want him to stick around.
Yeah. And like there was fucking shit in there about, hey, like, you're not going to be on the project anymore. We'll keep your name in the credits. You'll get all the stuff, but you can't talk about the show. We don't want you talking about the show. And he talked about the show. And they said, hey, you can't do that. And he kept doing it. So they said, all right, well, we're removing you from the credits then. I think it comes off as like an opportunistic, like fake victim shit. That doesn't mean that he might not have made a good show.
True.
The vast majority of people who have watched that have told me that they think it's really good and they really enjoyed X-Men 97. Yep. But I don't know. Where did I leave off? VI Villager. Is James Gunn even trying to keep his job? Instead of listening to the fans about what they want, his rant indicates he's going to tell fans what they want. Did James Gunn go on a rant?
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see James Gunn go on any rant about. In fact, he's been rather quiet.
Brand new, and it happened like today, like the past couple of hours.
Is it a Mike Zero fucking video? James Gunn unloads on fans, you know?
I don't know. I didn't see it, but I'll take a peek really quickly. There is a fabricated screenshot that looks to be circulating. That kind of got a lot of attention earlier. Like I'll send this to you. 3 million views. Oh, you don't have... no, the community note is public, because I was going to say I could show the community note. That's public, yeah.
Wong. Did people get fooled by Wong updates?
That's the only one that pops up right at the top of my feed. Now, I don't know, though, if that is what is being referred to.
Bro, the amount of people who have fallen for Wong updates over the past couple weeks has been crazy. James Gunn issues an apology on Threads for the release of Supergirl. Yes, this is fake. This is not real.
Yeah, it is fake.
It's Logan Paul's apology? No way. That's so fucking funny. Now, I don't think this is what VI Villager is maybe talking about, but
right.
James Gunn has actually been relatively quiet over the last couple days, especially compared to him. So
the only one that's made a statement is Peter Safran. He's the only one that had said, like, this didn't end up meeting our expectations, but this is still the plan that we are barreling forwards with. We are not giving up on our plans for the DCU.
Yeah. I think in terms of your question, James Gunn has a massive ego and he only likes what he likes and he expects everyone else to like it. And that's what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Sundowners. What's up, Sundowners? Remember 30 months. Can someone tell the future members of Simon Strong's family when a huge dragon like Vagar is burning soldiers alive, maybe stop eating dinner and run?
He really
he's chilled there.
He really believed that he would be able to just talk to Eamon and be like, hey man, listen, I haven't picked up a sword in forever. Let's just have a talk. But that's probably the smartest idea, because like you clearly the three of you can't fight him, and so you have to convince him that you're not a threat.
To be fair, it worked with Daemon. And
it did.
Maybe in Simon's mind, if it can work with the rogue prince Daemon Targaryen, if you can kind of talk him down and present yourself as not a threat and whatever, maybe it would work for anybody. I don't think there's any future members of Simon Strong's family, are there? Isn't that the end of his line? Because Larys doesn't have any kids. Isn't that the end of the Strongs period? I think how Strong...
Yeah.
With that and the eventual death of Larys, I think that's the end of the Strongs. But yeah, I mean, maybe if you heard some shit going on, maybe put down the fork. Pick up a knife. Or a sword. Albro Media. Do you think people like Millie and Zegler are trained to appease the stupid queer red carpet questions, or maybe Millie's afraid to go against LGBT? I don't know why you would assume she's afraid to go against that and that she doesn't just support that. Like I think like most 25-year-old women in fucking Los Angeles, Hollywood, especially who work in the entertainment industry specifically, let alone just live there. I think most of them are going to have those kind of sensibilities in general. Not all of them, certainly, but I think on average, most of them probably will because of where they grow up, because of their age, because of their gender. So I think that Rachel and Millie, I think they believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with Millie, look at the people that she was surrounded with when she gained notoriety in House of the Dragon. You have, right, you have non-binary actors. I mean, now you have these transgender actors being a part of it. Like, you have a lot of these different types of people who are being hired for these roles. And so when you are around these types of individuals and you talk to them and you hear their side of the argument on a more like personal level, of course your opinion is ultimately going to be different, especially if that is the opinion that you believe is going to get you to an even bigger role than your last role.
Yeah, I think it's just genuinely believe it. Like, especially these people who are so young when they get in the industry, I don't think they like I think that they're programmed. They're not real people. They don't have like thoughts of their own.
Right. They don't form their own opinion. This is just the
world they've grown up in and that they exist in.
Yeah.
Sabat for $5. Is it weird that being a real life failure makes Millie hotter to me? I don't know. Guess I have to have a type. Hey girl, my career also isn't going well. LOL. Maybe. Hey, we can fix each other, you know? Authentic Nerds Don't Yield for $7. Check out my channel, Authentic Nerds Don't Yield, where I'm starting to review movies. You guys got me inspired. I've never missed an FML, and the DCU is shite. Hey, well, thank you.
Congrats.
Authentic Nerds Don't Yield. Andy, I get it. Go check it out. New channel. So,
nice.
Welcome to the journey. CB Epic for $1.99. FYI, Nightcrawler and Jubilee are coming to Rivals. Are you excited, Vera?
I haven't played Marvel Rivals in a hot minute. I need to though. I saw that they're doing their summer skins, which is so funny to me because Daredevil is a lifeguard. Some people are fucking dying.
Yeah, you sent me that. Hold on.
I thought that was so fucking funny. Fan service. Hey, I love the fan service. The men, the women, I'm all for it. Hell yeah. Rivals has such a good art style and I love the character designs. They're actually skins in a game that I do not mind swiping my credit card on.
Yeah,
but,
so
yeah. Complete eye candy.
This is why Vera liked it. Apparently. Here's your first look at Sonar Savior Daredevil costume.
They just do not give a fuck. I don't play Daredevil though.
So the funniest part is like this dude. Yo, this and we're blind and he's on lifeguard duty. Bro, people are gonna die.
It's so true, but you know what? People fucking suck, let them die. Whatever, man. He's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, so there's our Marvel Rivals update there.
Yeah.
Strong opinions for $20. Peter Safran shares the blame with James Gunn. Gunn didn't want to write direct Superman as he couldn't think of a way into the story until Safran convinced him he was the perfect guy. Gunn told this story in an interview.
It's so stupid.
But here's the thing. You can't take anything James Gunn says at face value.
No,
like,
you can't.
He's such a fucking liar.
Dude,
I could totally believe that James Gunn made up that story.
Right. He wants to sound cool and like, oh my God, this thing happened and everyone was telling me I'm basically a fucking God storyteller. And man, everyone was telling me to follow my dreams and chase my dreams. And that's what I did.
I could totally see James Gunn being like just coming and telling a lie, being like, hey, you know, I wasn't sure if I knew how to tackle Superman. Like, I didn't know if I was the guy. But then Peter Safran came to me and said, James, you are the perfect guy to do this. You are the only one who can tell this story. And I thought, you know what? Maybe you're right. And look, here we are. I 1000% could believe that James Gunn made that shit up. But I agree with you in principle that this is a co-chair. Like, they are co-heads of DC Studios. And I do think that James Gunn deserves more of the blame because I feel like he is the more creative vision behind this, as opposed to Peter Safran, who is more of a behind the scenes producer who like makes contacts and gets deals done and contracts and shit like that. He's the business guy. Like Peter Safran is the business guy, whereas James Gunn is the like creative vision guy. That's the way I
mean, to be fair though, like a guy who drops kitty jokes in 2009 might not be taken as seriously when you're signing checks for hundreds of millions of dollars and, you know, going through the business route. So yeah, James Gunn definitely is the kind of visionary or the storyteller, even though I still think that his stories are so hit or miss. But yeah,
it's kind of like the same thing they have going on at Lucasfilm, right? Whereas Dave Filoni and Lin-Win Brennan are co-presidents, where Lin-Win Brennan has been doing a lot of the money stuff, the financial stuff, the things like that, and Dave Filoni's clearly the creative guy in that equation.
Yep.
Tiggs for $2. Thanks for the Venmo, Ryan. You're welcome. I didn't give you anything, but hey. Jason Nelson, can't be a cope is Don't Panic, Incredible Hulk, Marvel's second. Well, the budget for Incredible Hulk was probably in the, I'm going to guess, $110 million range, and it made, what, 285 at the box office? I'm just going off the top of my head. In 2008. So let's factor in inflation in that for a second, and let's realize that Supergirl's budget was $186 million, and it's going to make maybe 130 to 150 million. I think it's time to panic.
Yeah.
What would Iron Man have made today, like in today's money? Iron Man would be probably close to $1 billion movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me look. How much did Iron Man make?
585.
Okay, so maybe like revenue. 850 or something.
Yeah. I thought it was a little higher. Iron Man 2 was 623, so. But yeah, I mean, it would make a significant amount of money.
Yeah, so when adjusted for inflation, it would be around $870 to $900 million, Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
That's a little different than a $600 million Superman movie today.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Let me look up the numbers. Incredible Hulk. Let's see. Ryan's part of the inflation bros. I am. I'm part of the context bros. So the production budget was $137 million for Incredible Hulk, and the worldwide box office was $265 million. I think I guessed 285. 265. The Incredible is going to make about twice what Supergirl makes worldwide before we adjust for inflation. So it is absolutely time to panic. And again, these people are coping. The John Rokas of the world, the John Campias of the world, the Colliders of the world, all of them are fucking coping and say now's not the time to panic. These are also all the same people that said this movie is going to do great. John Campia's got clips out there of like in August of 2025, after Superman, is like, you know, originally I thought that Supergirl, when they announced that Supergirl was coming out, that would be like a 375 box office tops, 375 million. But now, after the huge success of Superman, I could see 500 million. I could see 600 million or even higher. Here we are.
Brain dead.
Here we are.
Yeah. It's okay, guys. You don't need the truth when you have Cope on your side.
That's right. Street Dog Wrangler. What do y'all think the chance of Paramount making better Lord of the Rings and A Song of Ice and Fire TV shows, movies once they own HBO, or will be more of the same? I think that Paramount taking over Warner Brothers, I don't think it's going to be a very hard change for a lot of these things. They are taking on a lot. In addition to the stuff that they're already making. So the idea that there's going to be like a ton of micromanagement, I think in a large part, things that are successful and making money are probably going to stay status quo. And although we certainly have, issues with House of the Dragon season 2 and 3 and stuff like that, I think it's very successful for them. The season 3 premiere was down about 6 to 8% viewership wise, and it still had 22 million people watch it. Mm-hmm. Like, those are numbers that basically every other streamer would fucking die for.
Right.
Like, it's so far beyond anything. Like, when we get the numbers for The Acolyte or for Ahsoka, and it's like, oh, it has fucking 7 million views over the first 7 days. And House of the Dragon is doing 22 million views in 24 hours of its debut. It's just, I do think that these things are profitable for them. That's why they're announcing so many spinoffs. So for things like that, if it's successful, if it's making money, if it's doing well, I don't think they do too much to rock the boat.
Right. They're going to stick with the plan that has been making them money, because there's no point to completely change their sort of game plan for the future. Now, they may spam out announcements to gauge reaction before they decide what they're going to greenlight and what they're actually going to put money into to see what fans have to say. But that still is like a little bit different when it comes to like the content, what they're going for their main series. Yeah, I don't think they'll change really anything.
Now, for things that are problematic and are not making money, like say the DC universe, I think that's something that they tackle rather quickly.
Yes.
And I'm just fucking speculating, just like any other dumb fuck.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Harry Potter is going to be something that, as much as I would love it for them to get rid of Black Snape, the problem is, and even if a lot of people don't think this, I think that when Harry Potter debuts, it's going to probably be the biggest thing in the history of like streaming shows, or at least really close to up there. I think it's going to get massive viewership. Now, I think Black Snape could be a big problem over time, and I think the changes that they make could be a big problem over time. But when it first comes out, I think it's going to be massively successful. So if that happens, they're going to be like, hey, fuck, keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Everybody is going to run to watch it because they're curious, and there's so many people that know and love Harry Potter and the Wizarding World, and so many people who are going to give it a go that up front, yeah, I completely agree. I think it's going to be one of the largest, if not the largest, streaming debut we've ever seen. Honestly, I think that there's very few things that could even rival that, but yeah, I think because it's going to be so successful at release, I don't think that they would change it dramatically going into a season 2, only if viewership drops by a large number, like 50%, and then there's backlash, then would they reconsider their plans.
Yeah, that's just guessing, and just based
on speculation. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm guessing because look, this whole Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers thing, Warner Brothers is a bigger company than Paramount. Paramount is not exactly a massively successful media conglomerate right now. Warner Brothers is not a massively successful media conglomerate right now. Both of these companies have massive debt. Both of them have been losing money. So you not only have to turn around, because Skydance acquired Paramount just a year ago or whatever. So there's a lot of shit to be done. And so for things that are, even if we see problems with it, if it's successful, I don't think they change anything.
Yep.
But Vera, I did want to get your opinion on something. You're a gamer.
Oh, I am a little bit of a gamer. Yes.
Grand Theft Auto is a video game franchise that has existed probably. Did the first one come out before you were born?
GTA 1 came out. No, it came out like 2002 or 2003.
Okay.
Right.
So you were
I could look it up.
Toddling around, maybe. Obviously, GTA 6 is. Right. I don't think it's overselling it to say that it is.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. It was 97. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be. My guess would have been 99. I don't know
why, but I was thinking like 2002 range. But yeah, 97. Yep. So
okay. GTA 6. I don't think it's like being hyperbolic to say it's probably the most highly anticipated video game launch of all time. And certainly you can throw some other ones in there, but just considering how long it's been, the wait, the buildup, the budget, the money, the attention, I do think that GTA 6 is probably going to break a fuck ton of records when it eventually does launch. But that doesn't mean that everyone's happy with it right now. And one of the reasons is the pricing. The other reason is the Ultimate Edition having so many things that most people feel should be part of the normal standard game. We did get the information of the pre-order because the pre-orders are now live. Ultimate Edition's out there. It's $100, but there's a lot of things that are locked behind it that most people thought would be in the standard game, like all the stores, tattoo shops, mod shops, custom vehicles. There are also missions that are locked behind the Ultimate Edition. Now, it's not uncommon for higher editions to have a bonus side mission or something like that, but people don't feel great about it. And then the other thing people don't feel great about is the fact that there will be no physical disc, period, for this release. It is full digital. There were rumors that came out that said, oh, a couple months after release, they'll release a physical. No, that's not happening. There is no actual physical release for this game. It is only a box with a fucking code in it if you decide to go that route. What's been your take on the reception to what has been revealed from GTA so far?
So obviously with a game as large as Grand Theft Auto 6, this could completely change the industry. And so when we hear a Rockstar has decided to no longer actually put a game on a disc and it is a code in a box, that is going to upset people because of what it could do to the industry. Because every company has wanted to push an all-digital future, and this is just another step towards that. Now, months ago, going back like a year or two, there were analysts saying that companies were itching to see the price of GTA 6 because they were really hoping that they would go like $100 for a standard, and then they would be able to raise their game prices because that would suddenly be the norm. That didn't quite happen. It's 80, which is a price tag a lot of companies recently have been pushing, like Xbox / Microsoft, and also Nintendo for physical releases. But with the 80 versus $100 editions, it obviously was always going to upset people, and rightfully so. Now, yes, I completely understand in slightly more expensive, whether it's digital deluxe editions or whatever they want to call them, premium editions. Yes, there are things like costumes, or there are things like weapon charms and weapon skins. That is understandable. My issue here is that they are saying that there are going to be exclusive areas and exclusive missions to the $100, which you could take that as, oh, well, because there's going to be different shops, those are the new exclusive locations. Or that could mean additional content, and we just don't know because they haven't addressed that. And that is a really big worry for people, because basically the standard edition is $100. All of the content that they are making at release is $100. It's just that there is a scaled back version for 80. And yeah, that's going to upset people, which I understand.
And this might not be the most popular take, but I think that in a vacuum, right? Not thinking about the way this could affect the rest of the industry. In a vacuum, if Rockstar was the same Rockstar that it had been for decades, and if they had spent 13 years and billions of dollars developing this game, and this game was going to be bigger and like more intense and like includes so many different customizable things and just like beyond anything you could imagine, like a revolutionary game. Mm-hmm. The idea of paying $100 for that, I don't think it's actually that crazy. When you have games that come out that are kind of fucking just run-of-the-mill bullshit for $70, the idea of paying $100 for a game that you've waited a long time for, that they've taken their time with, that they've spent billions of dollars developing, that you trust the developers, I don't think that that's wild. The issue is you can't just look at it in a vacuum.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't just look at it that way, because this means that Donkey Kong Bonanza 2 might be $100. You know what I mean? That means that your fucking 18-hour campaign game might be $100 a year from now. And obviously Rockstar's not the same Rockstar. They've had a huge leadership and executive turnover. It feels like the priorities are different at the company. People are very worried and hesitant for this. So I get why paying $100 is completely unacceptable to some people. With that being said, I think it is going to break every fucking record known to man when it eventually comes out.
Right, because what I might be willing to pay $80 or $100 for, you might not be able to, or you might not want to, or you might not be interested in paying that price. And it is true. This is going to be the largest video game release we've ever seen, most amount of pre-orders. This is a behemoth of a launch, and a behemoth that isn't going to be rivaled for a very long time in terms of its scale and size and scope, except for if we ever get Elder Scrolls 6. I know that we've all been speculating about that for a very long time. But this is an industry-defining situation, right? If they do it, everyone else is going to want to do it. And most games are not even worth $70, never mind $100, or in this case, it's $80 for the standard, but we'll say the $100 because that's the edition, you're getting all the content. Most games are not worth even close to this price tag. Doesn't mean I wouldn't be willing to spend it on it. It's like Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring, one of my favorite games of all time. I would spend $100 on that easy, but not everybody else is going to want to spend that. And in theory, really most games aren't worth that. With GTA, there's a lot of fans, there's a lot of love and nostalgia there, and I get that there's a lot of gamers who are going to say, you know what, I'll pay it, and that's great. I'm not sitting here telling people to buy or to not buy something, but if this is the standard price now, $80 to $100, never mind in 5 years with all of the prices of, you know, hardware and how much you're going to want to raise software and all this. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to eventually come out, and that'll be $150 freaking dollars. Like it never ends.
Yeah, and like I've already seen some people in the chat, and I've seen it in some of my comments, like the video I made on this. Be like, hey, the Super Nintendo cost this much, and I was paying this much for cartridges.
Games were $60,
right? And and I get that, but in the same way, when we factor in inflation to you know, box office and stuff like that, there's other factors as well. You have to consider other factors when you're talking about like the SNES, and when you're talking about Nintendo 64, you're talking about these kind of emerging technologies. You're also talking about when you're talking about the game catalog and the available games and stuff like that, it's a very different landscape. The same way that in 2003, when plasma TVs or whatever first started becoming a thing, you might have been paying $5,000 for a fucking like 50-inch plasma flat screen TV. Why? Because it was relatively like new technology that people were working with, and the amount it cost to do that and develop it, and like all this shit was really like baked into those things. Whereas now you can go and get a fucking 70-inch LCD or QLED fucking TV for like $200 at Walmart, right? In the same way that obviously the way that we make games has changed, you can be more efficient and effective with making these things. There's also, compared to the game catalog for these consoles that came out in the 90s and, you know, early 2000s, certainly a lot of games on Super Nintendo, a lot of games on N64. That pales in comparison to the game catalog on, say, the Sony PlayStation 5, where there's like tens of thousands of games that you have access to. So there's a ton of like other competition out there and potential for you to play. So all of that factors into pricing and why things are the way that they are, as opposed to simply, I paid $60 for this back then, now it's fucking $60. Make that make sense. I think it's justifiable for people to be worried that this game, even if it might be worth $100, will reset the market for everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's a lot of worries right now with the video game industry in general and technology prices in general. I mean, the word on the street is that the PS6 a couple of months ago, when they were putting the parts together, it was like $750 for a console, and now it's $1,000. When that eventually comes out, I mean, there's worry that it's going to be $1,400 freaking dollars. Never mind if that's digital only and it's like the PlayStation 5 Pro, where you have to spend the additional money on the disc drive, and then you're ending up spending $200 on that because never mind when you get into the prices of the video games. Hardware is very, hardware is expensive right now. Everything is very expensive right now. But this is also a game, and I get this argument. This is a game that is going to sell $1 billion in pre-sales. This is a game that is clearly going to make a lot of money. And so when you know that Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold, I think the last time we got an updated sales figure was like 230 million units, right? You assume that they are going to make their money back on this game pretty easy. And so I completely understand the argument that, well, they should just sell it at standard $60 or $70, probably now $70, because they're going to sell 100 million copies of this game easily.
Yeah. Someone said plasma TVs would still be expensive today. The reason TVs are cheap because the advancement of LCDs, the invention of blue LEDs. Part of it, but again, technology evolves as you do these things. However, no, when plasma TVs first came out, they were like $5 fucking grand for like a big ass flat screen TV. And 2 years later, they were 20% of that price because they figured out how to make them more efficiently. And because more people started flooding the market with other competitors and lowering the prices, everybody else kind of had to adjust.
Yep. It's the way the world works.
Thaddeus for 5. Moaning Myrtle should be the trans in the new Harry Potter series. Zer is always hanging out in restrooms. Malkov for 5. Once the angry, self-insert, addicted millennial women / simp men in writing, comic books, games, and movies are all laid off, things will get better. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If only we're that easy, though. It's too many of them.
Dean for 5. I can kind of see Jeremy's point about the inflation thing, after all, even though movies' box office changes when adjusted, but so does his budget. Absolutely. The problem is that if somebody brings up additional context for something, it shouldn't just be, well, that's gay. We should never talk about anything. It should be, well, let's bring in more context. Let's have the most nuanced conversation we can, as opposed to when something comes in, say that's gay. Right? Because I understood what he was saying. I translated what he was saying because I do speak retard. So,
yes, you do.
Robert Hayes. So they're finally making that Netflix Ghostbusters cartoon. It's going to be set in 1994 and features a bunch of dipshit teens that aren't really Ghostbusters. The OGs are apparently retired. There will probably be a girl genius who kit bashes all their gear together. They describe teens with phrases like riot girl, emotional genius, and cool loser.
I haven't seen that. That is painful. Not shocking, but painful.
That sounds awful.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Whenever it's punk rocker girl or riot girl or, flawed girl, you instantly know what you're getting.
Supreme Lord. There have been a lot of bad superhero movies, but I think Supergirl's officially won the crown jewel of being the apex of hot garbage. And then says, I don't know about you guys, but I see no hope for DC anymore. I think it's in the same boat as Star Wars at this point. Marvel, on the other hand, still has a chance of survival, better than DC, involving Secret Wars.
Yeah, well, live action. I mean, the animated's Nightfall looks like it's going to be fucking sick.
It does. Cool.
Absolute. I know people are really, really hyped for. So, there is hope there. But yeah, in terms of live actions, it's pretty cooked. Like I have said with Star Wars and the MCU, they need to just let it rest for a couple of years and give people time to breathe and then rethink their plans and strategies.
And then on Rumble, Supreme Lord says, got a question. You guys think Superman was sort of like Last Jedi of DC and superheroes? Because I think it was divisive like Last Jedi, but I think Supergirl's the last straw. No.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not, because we have seen a million different iterations of Superman.
Right.
For like in a million different like types of storylines written by different people in comic books, in animated adaptations, in live action. The thing that makes Star Wars so significant and unique is it was an IP that ran for decades with one continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to the movies, by one fucking person controlling it all. And then to take that and do what they did to it, it was a huge fucking like watershed moment where there have been Superman adaptations that people despised plenty of times before, you know?
Yep.
I think it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
To me.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Albro Media, Supergirl worse than Thor 4 and Ant-Man 3. See, I don't think that Supergirl is worse than the Marvels. I
think the problem with Thor and Ant-Man is that they were characters we had seen so many times already, whereas Supergirl, we saw her for 30 seconds at the end of one movie and then in this movie. So they're kind of different levels. It's like different levels of destruction.
I didn't like Ragnarok. Like I had massive problems with Ragnarok, but it seemed like a lot of people fucking loved it and were, yeah, let's go Taika Waititi, you fucking queer. You're so funny. It's great to turn Thor into this fucking character that he was never before. It's great. Look, Thor got a little bit of fucking earth pussy and all of a sudden he starts cracking jokes and understanding sarcasm. I fucking despised Ragnarok. Not so much like the story or the plot, but I really despised Thor, like the change in Thor as a character. And Thor Love and Thunder, after the success of Ragnarok, I think they just let Taika Waititi do whatever the fuck he wanted. And Love and Thunder is what we got. Is it worse than Ant-Man 3?
What a movie. Truly.
Fuck. Kang was in that. Kang was in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough to make.
They're all bad. See, this is the problem, is like we're ranking shit versus shit versus shit. It's like, true, I would agree that The Marvels is worse than Supergirl, but Supergirl is still fucking bad. It's not like it's a 6 versus another movie that's a 2. Yeah, I mean, I think that Ant-Man 3 is just worse.
Maybe.
But again, established characters that you've grown to either like or at least be used to on screen for many years versus Millie Alcock's, one performance as the lead character.
Scott Herman Fitness. What's up, Scott? Which one is the worst bad? Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's a tough question. What's up, Scott? Good to see you, man. Harry Brownhole for $2. AAA games dying under own crap. $100 raise won't help. Look, this is what theaters are doing. Like, this is what they're relying on the box office. Not only when you talk about the box office, there's a lot of things to consider, including inflation, but also ticket prices, which is different than inflation. Because 15, 20 years ago, you packed into theaters, you had a bunch of people in there, but now they've gone the premium route. You're paying more for a ticket than just what it would have been if you just factor in the way money is valuated, because now it's a premium experience. You got a fucking recliner seat. Sometimes you can order food, like all this shit. And that's what theaters have been trying to survive on, is charging less people more money. And maybe that's the route they go to video games, that they have to try to go for AAA video games. I don't know.
AAA video games need to cost less, and they need to be smaller teams, and it shouldn't take fucking 15 years to put out a follow-up to a game.
And stop hiring gay people as well. Like, that would help. In all aspects of entertainment.
I think that there's levels to gay people. If you're a gay person, but you don't make it your entire fucking personality, and you don't want to push it on everybody.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the dude who's
good story.
I'm not talking about the dude who's fucking dudes in the ass and not telling everybody about his sex life.
Yeah, you can maybe make a good game
queers out there,
Right, yeah. The activists of social media who add the fucking flags in their bio and screech online if you call them a meanie word.
That's right. Exactly. But speaking of gay, we're finally done. We're at our 2-hour mark. Vera, tell people where they can find you and what you do.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube and X. Veridark Dark Titan Media is my main channel. Veridark Reviews is my second channel. So I'm going to be doing collection videos, and I put out my live stream reviews over there. I live stream video games Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Fuck My Life, of course, every Monday, rotating show. So next week will be on my channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then the show I do with Wicked Virtue on Wednesday evenings.
What time is that?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, really? What an interesting time frame. Right when I fucking have streamed for forever on Wednesdays. Thank you, Vera.
You're welcome, Ryan.
Interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
So, creators are on the same platform that happen to be doing something at a similar time.
I blame Wicked Virtue. So.
I bet you do.
But yes, that's it for us. Tomorrow, so I'm doing some traveling on Wednesday. So my schedule is going to be a little bit strange. So I don't know if I'm going to do my Wednesday stream. Maybe I'll do something from the road. We'll see. But I do think, since I'll be out of town on Thursday, I'm probably going to try to do a Rip and Pack stream tomorrow night on RK Outpost Live, where we'll open some Pokemon, maybe some other stuff. And what else? I don't fucking know. That's about it. So tune in tomorrow night, where I think I'm going to do a Rip and Pack stream. Other than that, go subscribe to Vera, I guess. And yeah, fuck my life. That's it. We're still going with the show. Oh, and in the next 9 days, I will be doing a stream of Relooted.
All right, you heard it here. If he doesn't, I don't know, but I'm going to start burning Pokemon cards.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I was giving you 2 months, and you suddenly set yourself a time frame of the next couple of days. So, hey, it is what it is.
Just saying, it's gonna happen. Rip some packs in the car ride. I might look for Pokemon cards while I'm up there, just because I get some time. Look, so I saw a fucking graphic that pissed me off so badly, because I have a difficult time finding Pokemon cards in the wild. And I see this fucking graphic that's like the top fucking 10 most scalper heavy cities in America. And 2 of them were in Florida. I think the number 1 was Miami, and the number 4 was Orlando, Tampa. Like, in terms of Pokemon scalpers. So that explains why I have a tough time finding stuff. But
apparently,
hey, what are you gonna do other than fucking die a little bit every day? That's it, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will talk to you next week. Bye. Actually, hold on. So let me make sure. All right, I think we're good. Just making sure we didn't get another donation on Rumble or wherever. So now I think we're officially good, and we can go. Bye.